अस्सलाम वालेकुम स्टूडेंट्स, वेलकम टू माय चैनल। आज हम EDUA510 की शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन आंसर्स जो है ये प्रिपेयर करने लगे हैं फाइनल टर्म प्रिपरेशन के हवाले से। इधर लेक्चर नंबर 23 से लेक्चर 45 तक कंप्लीटली कवर किए जाएंगे। तो चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं। What is the role of equivalent sets and leftovers in numeration? Equivalent sets and leftovers help children understand numbers in groups, which prepares them for place value and tens and ones. Why should number 6 to 10 be introduced slowly? Number 6 to 10 should be introduced slowly because young children find it difficult to recognize these numbers without counting. Why are numbers 0 to 10 important? Numbers 0 to 10 are important because they are the building blocks of the numeration system. How does the idea of number emerge in children? The idea of number emerges from one-to-one matching between two sets. What vocabulary helps children express early number ideas? Words like same, more, fewer, bigger, smaller, higher, and lower help children express early number and quantity ideas. What is the purpose of matching sets and numbers from 0 to 10? The purpose of matching set is to help children connect a written numeral with the correct number of objects. How can children distinguish number from size? Children can distinguish number from size by matching sets and understanding that larger object does not always mean a larger number. What is the Show Me numeral card activity? In the Show Me activity, children hold up numeral card to show the correct answer or number. Why are numeral cards useful in early mathematics? Numeral cards help children recognize written numbers, symbols, and connect them with quantities. What skills is developed through matching corresponding sets? Matching corresponding sets develop one-to-one correspondence and help children understand equal numbers. इस वीडियो में भी मैं डायरेक्ट आपको क्वेश्चंस और उनके करेक्ट आंसर्स जो है ये बताती जा रही हूँ। डिटेल में मैं आपको गाइड नहीं कर रही इस वजह से क्योंकि इसके तमाम लेक्चर्स मेरे चैनल पे अपलोडेड है। अगर आपको इन डिटेल बातें समझनी है तो आप चैनल पे मेरे लेक्चर्स जरूर विजिट कीजिए ताकि आप इन सवालात को अच्छे से अंडरस्टैंड कर पाए। ठीक है, आगे बढ़ते हैं। What is meant by comparing numbers? Comparing numbers means identifying which number is greater, smaller, or equal. What are ordinal numbers? Ordinal numbers show position or order, such as first, second, and third. Why is recognizing sets of 2 to 5 without counting important? It is important because it helps children quickly recognize small quantities and supports later addition and subtraction. What does 0 represent in early number learning? 0 represents the number property of an empty set. Why are sets separated into subsets? Sets are separated into subsets to teach whole part relationship and prepare children for addition and subtraction. What is numeration? Numeration means the concept and skills needed to name, write, and understand numbers 10 or greater. Why is thinking in tens and ones important? Thinking in tens and ones helps children understand two-digit numbers and place value. What is base representation? Base representation means understanding numbers as groups of 10 and leftover ones. How is 23 represented in tens and ones? The number 23 is represented as 2 tens and 3 ones. Why is grouping objects important in numeration? Grouping objects help children record numbers orally and in written form in meaningful way. Why are oral numbers name important? Oral number names help children understand and speak two-digit numbers correctly. What is grouping by tens? Grouping by tens means arranging objects in two equal groups of 10. How does grouping by tens help children? It helps children count large quantities easily and understand the base 10 system. Why do children need many experiences with tens and ones? Children need many experiences so they can understand two-digit numbers meaningfully rather than only memorize them. What is the goal of learning two-digit numerals? The goal is to help children read, write, compare, and understand numbers between 10 and 100. What is meant by order in numbers? Order means arranging numbers according to their value from smaller to larger or larger to smaller. What is estimation? Estimation means finding an approximate answer instead of an exact answer. Why is estimation useful in mathematics? Estimation helps children make reasonable guesses and check whether an answer is sensible. What is the commutative property of addition? The commutative property means changing the order of addend does not change the sum. What is the identity property of addition? The identity property of addition means that when 0 is added to a number, the number remains the same. What is the basic idea of addition? Addition means joining two disjoint sets to find the total number of objects. What is the basic idea of subtraction? Subtraction means removing a part from the whole to find what is left. What are factors in multiplication? Factors are the numbers that are multiplied to get a product. What is the product in multiplication? The product is the answer obtained after multiplying two or more factors. Why should properties of addition not be blindly applied to subtraction? They should not be blindly applied because subtraction does not always follow the same properties as addition. What role does counting play in addition and subtraction? Counting helps children find sums in addition and differences in subtraction. Why do children often use fingers for counting? Children use fingers because they are convenient and always available. How can teachers reduce dependence on finger counting? Teacher can reduce finger counting by using concrete objects and giving frequent counting experiences. What is the physical representation of addition? The physical representation of addition is joining two separate sets. What is the physical representation of subtraction? The physical representation of subtraction is removing a subset from a whole set. What are related addition and subtraction facts? Related facts are number facts that are connected through the same whole and parts. How are related facts taught? They are taught by partitioning sets into parts and then relating those parts to addition and subtraction. What is the teacher's role during addition and subtraction activities? The teacher observes children, guides them, and gives help according to their level of understanding. Why should worksheet match the child's level? Worksheet should match the child's level so that the work is neither too easy nor too frustrating for them. How does the associative property help in addition? The associative property helps children regroup numbers to make addition easier, such as making a group of 10. Why are partitions useful for sums of 11 and 18? Partitions help children make 10 first and then add the remaining numbers. What generalization do children learn about adding 0? Children learn that when 0 is added, the sum is the other addend. What is the purpose of practice games in addition and subtraction? Practice games make basic facts interesting and help children remember them. What is the hidden numbers game? Hidden Numbers is a game in which children use clues about sums and differences to guess numbers. How can multiplication facts be practiced through games? Multiplication facts can be practiced through games such as chalkboard races and beanbag throws. What is the basic idea of a fraction? A fraction is based on the idea of a part of something. Why should fractions be taught with concrete models first? Fractions should be taught with concrete models first because children understand parts better through real objects. What unit is used in the sample fraction activities? A sheet of paper is used as a unit in the sample fraction activities. What is the sequence for learning fraction? The sequence begins with units, then parts of a unit, oral names, written fractions, drawings, and extended fraction ideas. What is meant by part in fraction learning? A part means less than the whole or a portion of the whole object or set. Why is the unit important in fraction? The unit is important because the value of a fraction depends on the whole unit being considered. What does more or less than a unit teach children? It teaches children to compare fractional amounts with one whole unit. Why must pieces be equal in fraction? Pieces must be equal because fractions represent equal parts of a whole. What does the denominator tell in a fraction? The denominator tells the total number of equal parts in the unit. What does the numerator tell in a fraction? The numerator tells how many equal parts are being considered. Why is demonstration important in fraction learning? Demonstration helps children show the meaning of a fraction using real objects or drawings. What is the purpose of representing fractions with drawings? Drawings help children move from concrete objects to diagrammatic representation. What misconception do children often have about fraction? Children often think that every fraction must be less than one unit. What are mixed forms? Mixed forms combine whole numbers and fractions such as 3 and 1/2. How can sets be used to teach fractions? Sets can be used by asking what part of the whole set has a specific property, such as red blocks in a set. What is a varied approach in early mathematics? A varied approach uses group activities, child-led learning, technology, practitioner interaction, and cooking to develop mathematics. Why is the right approach important in early mathematics? The right approach supports children's development and helps them catch up with peers when they are behind. How can group activities promote mathematics? Group activities like Lotto and Dominoes make mathematics fun and always develop social skills. How can technology support early math learning? Technology supports early math through games and apps that make learning exciting. How can outdoor activities improve mathematical understanding? Outdoor activities improve mathematical understanding by using natural materials, shapes, number templates, and movement based learning. Why do students struggle with mathematics? Students struggle with mathematics because of weak basic concepts, unsuitable teaching methods, lack of practice, anxiety, and attention problems. Why are basic concepts important in mathematics? Basic concepts are important because they act as the foundation for advanced topics. How does teaching method affect math learning? If the method is difficult to understand, students cannot remember or apply it properly. Why is practice necessary in mathematics? Practice is necessary because without practice, even understood concepts may be forgotten. How does ADHD affect mathematics learning? ADHD may cause students to lose attention, miss steps, and rush through math problems. Why is motivation important in mathematics? Motivation is important because students learn better when they feel interested, confident, and encouraged. How does positive feedback help students? Positive feedback builds confidence and encourages students to continue learning. What is growth mindset? Growth mindset is the belief that ability can improve through effort, practice, and learning. How do rewards motivate students? Rewards give students a sense of achievement and encourage healthy competition. Why should students work as a team? Teamwork helps students interact, solve problems together, and participate more actively. Why should students master the basics first? Students should master the basics first because advanced topics depend on a strong foundation. What does help them understand the why mean? It means explaining the reason behind a mathematical concept, not only the steps. How can teachers make mathematics a positive experience? Teachers can make mathematics positive by reducing fear, using enjoyable activities, and by encouraging effort. Why is thinking out loud useful? Thinking out loud helps the teacher understand the student's reasoning and identify their mistakes. What is one way to overcome mathematics difficulty? One way is to give clear explanations, regular practice, and supportive feedback. What difficulty can occur at the planning stage? Teachers may face difficulty in recognizing children's learning speed and planning according to their needs. How does professional inexperience affect planning? Professional inexperience can make it difficult for teachers to design activities according to children's need. How do resource and budget problems affect mathematics activities? Resource and budget problems limit the materials needed for effective mathematics activities. What implementation difficulties occur inside the classroom? Classroom implementation difficulties include children's mobility, short attention span, and different readiness levels. What difficulties occur in outdoor mathematical activities? Outdoor mathematical activities may be difficult due to unsafe spaces, poor physical condition, climate, and distraction. What difficulty can occur during outdoor activity evaluation? Children may lose interest outside the classroom, so teachers may find it hard to evaluate their learning. How can family involvement create difficulty? Family involvement can create difficulty when families refuse cooperation or show indifference toward learning activities. What are child development theories? Child development theories explain how children grow, learn, behave, and develop socially, emotionally, and cognitively. What are learning theories? Learning theories explain how children learn and how teachers can support learning effectively. What is Erikson's psychosocial theory? Erikson's psychosocial theory explains development across the whole lifespan through different social and emotional stages. What is behavioral child development theory? Behavioral theory explains development through observable behavior, environmental influence, rewards, punishment, and reinforcement. What is Piaget cognitive development theory? Piaget's theory explains how children's thinking and understanding develop in stages. Name Piaget's 4 stages of development. Piaget's 4 stages of development are sensory motor stage, pre-operational stage, concrete operational, and formal operational stage. What is Bowles-Bayes attachment theory? Bowles-Bayes attachment theory states that early relationships with caregivers strongly influence child development and later social relationships. Why is secure attachment important? Secure attachment is important because it supports emotional security, care, protection, and healthy social development. What is Bandura's social learning theory? Bandura's social learning theory states that children learn through observation, modeling, and instructions. Why is observation important in Bandura's theory? Observation is important because children can learn behaviors by watching real people, fictional character, or demonstrations. What is Vygotsky's socioculture theory? Vygotsky theory states that children learn actively through social interaction, culture, and support from others. What is the zone of proximal development? The zone of proximal development is the gap between what a child can do alone and what the child can do with help. What is Montessori's contribution to early childhood education? Montessori emphasized child-centered learning, independence, prepared move environment, and multi-aged grouping. What is the Montessori idea of conducive learning? Conducive learning means providing an environment where children can explore, work independently, and learn through meaningful activities. What are human tendencies in Montessori education? Human tendencies include exploring, moving, sharing, independence, order, self control, repetition, concentration, and perfecting efforts. What are the three stages of learning? The three stages of learning are introduction to a concept, processing through work and experimentation, and knowing with confidence. These are three stages of learning. What is childhood assessment? Childhood assessment is the process of gathering and reviewing information about the child to plan suitable educational activities. Why is documenting a child's work important? Documenting a child's work provides a record of growth and help teachers plan individualized instruction. What are the two types of child assessment system? The two types are program developed assessment tools and published assessment tools. What are program developed assessment tools? Program developed tools are created according to a specific program's philosophy and curriculum. What are published assessment tools? Published assessment tools are researched, tested, and accepted as credible tools for assessing child development. What does authentic assessment means? Authentic assessment means assessing children in their normal and familiar settings such as the classroom. Why should observations be ongoing and diverse? Observations should be ongoing and diverse so teachers can understand a child's progress across different activities and situations. इसके साथ ही हमारा EDUA510 के तमाम शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन आंसर्स लेक्चर वाइज लेसन वाइज कंप्लीट हो जाते हैं. मुझे उम्मीद है कि ये वीडियो आपके लिए बहुत बेनिफिशियल रहेगी फाइनल टर्म प्रिपरेशन के हवाले से. अगर आपका कोई सवाल हो या आप कोई फीडबैक देना चाहें तो ज़रूर मुझे कमेंट सेक्शन में बताइएगा. चैनल पर नए हैं तो सब्सक्राइब करना हरगिज़ ना भूलिएगा ताकि इसी तरह मेरी तमाम इंपॉर्टेंट वीडियोस आप तक पहुंचती रहें. और मेरी वीडियोस को, मेरे लेक्चर्स को अपने फेलो स्टूडेंट तक जरूर शेयर करें ताकि आपकी तरह दूसरे स्टूडेंट भी इन लेक्चर से फायदा हासिल कर सके. मैं इंशाअल्लाह ताला अपनी नेक्स्ट वीडियो के साथ जल्द हाजिर होंगी. तब तक आप सब अपना बहुत ख्याल रखिएगा. अल्लाह हाफिज.